Let's invest some time in revising the basics from level 1. The essence of option contracts is the fact that these contracts get asymmetrical. And meaning of asymmetry is that when you had a forward contract, you had right and obligation both. But when you have an option contract, you will either have only a right or you would have only a obligation, but you would never have both. So we prepared a flowchart at level 1, and the same would be useful at level 2 as well. So these are your options, which we said are of two types: call and put option. Now again, how do you think of them? Think of them as simple piece of papers which are available in the market for sale. So again, there would be one party which would create that legal document and make it available for sale, and that party is called short. So the one who creates the contract is called short, and the party which purchases the contract is called long. Now I have a question here. Let us say that you want to buy shares of L&T, which were issued by L&T itself. So let's say they had issued 10 lakh shares. So at any point of time, the number of shares which are bought or sold are 10 lakh. Now you want to buy shares of L&T. Sorry, you want to buy options on L&T. You want to buy the call options on L&T. So who is the issuer of these call options? Yes. There is no issuer per se, there are creators. So neither SEBI nor neither the regulator nor the exchange issued them. When the short person comes to market and executes or creates an option, then the long purchases it. And that's when derivative market we have a concept of open interest. Heard of open interest? That any point of time, how many number of contracts are available in the market, that's called as open interest. So therefore the short are the ones who are at times also called as creator of the options. They are also called as writer of the option, and long are called buyer of the option. So if there are no short people in the market, if there is no one willing to write, we will not have any contract even though we have people willing to buy. So we know that there are two types of options, American and European. Which kind of options do we have in India? We have European. We have European on stocks. We also have European on indexes. But some time back, we used to have American options about 2.5 years ago. But then the problem with American options is that they can be exercised any point of time. So for a long, that's a lot of flexibility. But imagine for short, if there was a temporary spike, the long would book his profit and force you to book the losses. And therefore, people were not really willing to write. And if there were no one willing to write, then there was no open interest in the market, no liquidity in the market. And that's why the regulators decided to have only European options, which means the short people play a very important role in the markets. If there is no one short, we wouldn't have long positions. But they have a higher volume, established derivative markets. Our markets are very, very new, derivative markets. So this is long, this is short again. We know that long parties will have right, and here also right. The short ones will have obligation, and here also they will have obligation. In case of call option, that right is to buy. In case of short call, if the other person has got right to buy, I have an obligation to sell. If I am long put, I have a right to sell, and therefore the other side will have an obligation to buy. Those people who have right, that right wouldn't come free of cost, so therefore they would be required to pay premium. This premium is the price at which option trades in the market. So premium and price of the option is the same concept. This party will receive premium, pay premium, receive premium. What is the maximum profit you can make in this situation on a long call? Unlimited. Because you profit when the prices increase of underlying asset, and prices can increase to infinity theoretically. What is the maximum loss you can have on a long position? Premium. If you are in a long position, the maximum that you'd lose is the amount of premium. What is the maximum amount of profit you would have in case of short position? Premium. So you're writing short position only to earn that premium, and the maximum amount of loss here could be unlimited. So again we can see that loss of this person is the profit of the other party. Again, same on the put side. The maximum profit here is unlimited. It would be x minus p, because you profit when the prices decrease, and they cannot decrease to infinity because there is a lower bound of 0. We cannot have negative prices. So you have a right to sell at 100, price became 0, some asset which is 0 you sold for 100, but you paid premium of 10, so net profit 90. So x minus p. Maximum loss, premium. Maximum profit, premium. Maximum loss, x minus p. And again the same relationship can be established. Then what is the level at which you would reach a break-even point if you are on a call option? Yes, what's the break-even point for a call option? X plus p. So for a long call, the break-even point is x plus p. So if I have a right to buy at 100 and I have paid premium of 10, when market price reaches 110, I have recovered whole of my money. How about short call, Nakul? It has to be same. So if this has got break-even point of x plus p, the other one will also have the same break-even point. What is the break-even point for put? X minus p, and therefore this is also x minus p. And finally, that what we know is that this is a bullish position, this is a bullish position. The ones in the center are bearish positions. Are we done? Okay. So if you remember yesterday, now let me infuse a little bit of forwards into it. We were trying to compare FRAs, interest rate options and bonds with swaps in that particular LOS. Now let's say we have a long forward. Now when you're long on a forward contract, are you bullish or bearish? Bullish, you're bullish. So that can be replicated by buying these two parallelly, the bullish ones, the first one and the last one, because a long forward means right and obligation to buy. And then what we can see is that this is the right to buy, this is the obligation to buy, and that's why we proved that equivalence. If you're short on the forward, then you have right and obligation to sell, and again you are bearish. So these two are bearish, right to sell and obligation to sell, and that's how these two can be replicated. Clear? Let's move further then. At level 1, we came across a concept which was called put call parity. And then we had a easy technique to remember it. Does anyone remember? Yes. Sip Pepsi, be cool. So we said that we have two sets of portfolios. S plus P is equal to B plus C. So if I buy a stock option and if I buy a stock and I buy a put, and parallelly if I invest into a bond and also buy a call option. The first portfolio we named it as protective put. The second portfolio was named as fiduciary call. Then what we said is, irrespective of what happens in the market on the day of expiry, the value of these two portfolios would always be same. But there are certain rules in order to be this equation to be true. So the first one, that call and put option have to be European. Okay, so it does not work on American options. The second rule was that underlying asset of call should be equal to underlying asset of put should be equal to the stock that we have. That means you cannot have a stock, Infosys stock and a put option on L&T. Third, strike price of call should be same as strike price of put. If you have a stock of L&T, you will have a put option of L&T and put option of call option of L&T. The underlying asset of call is same as underlying asset of put is same as the stock that we have under consideration. Clear? Then strike price of call should be same as strike price of put. 4. Your bond is nothing but present value of strike price for maturity of call and put, which means there is in fact one more, that maturity of call should be equal to maturity of put option, and that bond is nothing but present value of strike price invested for the level of maturity of the options or the time maturity of the options. Are we clear here? Any questions you want to ask, Manoj? That's what we get to learn at level 2. So at level 1 you just knew that this existed. At level 2 you get to learn the utility of this concept. Yes. Any questions up to this? No? Okay.
If I have a portfolio which has all these 4 assets, at maturity, if I take these two combinations, their value.
Yes.
That's what we are.
Yes, correct. That if I buy these two assets and parallelly I create one more portfolio with these two assets, the value of the two portfolios would always be same. Okay. So let's prove why it is same. So let's do a simple example. This is S, this is P, this is B, this is C. Let us say strike price is 100 and strike price is 100. That means when I will invest my bond, let's assume that RFR is 10%. Let me plot that in the bottom. RFR 10% and maturity 1 year. Discrete compounding, annual compounding. Which means when I will invest into my bond, I will be required to invest 91.9 in such a way that on expiry I will get 100. Okay, now we will consider different scenarios. So let's consider a scenario where on expiry, so now we are getting on to expiry, so we'll say different scenarios on expiry, different price scenarios. Let's say that the stock price increased substantially in the market, and now this has become, now the stock price has become, let's say 500. So now let's look at the value of this portfolio. S would be 500, put would be how much? 0. So the combined value here is 500. B, I had invested 91.9, the present value of bond. So on expiry it would be how much? Always the strike price 100, and this is how much? 400. Which means when the spot price increased above my strike price, both the portfolios are giving us a value of 500 again. Are we clear? Let's take a different scenario. Let us say that this is 300. If this is 300, this is 300, this is 0, this is 100, this is 200. Again the value is exactly same. Clear? So what we can prove going further, that irrespective of how much price increase, in a price increase scenario, the two portfolios are giving same value. And can I say that in a price increase scenario, so I'm making a statement, that value of this portfolio is equal to stock and value of this portfolio is also equal to stock? Yes, because this portfolio is equal to 500 and this portfolio, both the portfolios are equal to 300. So when the price increase, both of them are worth the stock. Clear?
Why on the right hand side?
This is also equal to stock. This is also 300 equal to stock. This is also 500 equal to stock. Which means whatever was this price, the value of the portfolio was same. Correct? Let's keep this at par with the strike price. So let us say that on the expiry it turned out to be exactly 100. Then this is 100, 0, this is 100, this is 0. This is where we are equal to stock and strike because they are same. Right? So again both the portfolios have the same value. Mrinal, for making sense? Yes, you want to ask anything, Mayur? No. Now let's reduce the price. Okay, so let us say that on expiry the price became 70. Now stock is 70 and put option is how much? 30, because I have a right to sell at 100. Bond is how much? 100, and this is 0. Again the two portfolios are same. But now when the price is decreased, it has become equal to the strike price, which was nothing but present value of the bond. Further, let's decrease the price and let's say this is now 30. So this would be 30, this would be 70, this would be 100 again, and again it would be equal to 100, and again it is equal to strike price. Sorry? Why? Why is it not equal to bond? Because bond is nothing but strike price. Bond, how is bond calculated? That's present value of strike price. Are we okay here? So essentially why they are true, I'm assuming that you've written this and I'm clearing off the screen. May I? Okay, do it quickly. No, we don't know what was the price, but that's what we're proving. So, see, understand now, what are we proving here? Once this is proved, what we have been able to prove is, irrespective of what happens on expiry to the spot price, the value of the two portfolios will be exactly same. This is proved. And if this is true on the expiry, then it should be always true, because if it's not true, anyone will exploit the arbitrage. For example, today S plus P is available at 50, the other portfolio is available at 60. I will buy 50, sell the other portfolio at 60, but on maturity they will set off each other. So which means that if on expiry they are true, then at any point of time the value of portfolio of S plus P and B plus C should be exactly same. So let's now make this small chart. If the spot price increases above the strike price, then this portfolio will be equal to S and S. If it is equal to strike price, okay, so this is spot price scenario. Then this is of course equal to X and X. And if it is decreasing, which is less than X, then it would be equal to X and X again. Amol, is that button on? The last one? It's on, right? Okay, let's see if it's got any practical application now. We'll pick up a derivative on index. Let's take 27th March. Now write down key data. Strike price 6100. So I'll write it here as well. Strike price 6100. Spot price here is 6063. So spot price is 6063. RFR, should we take 8%? So let's take RFR as 8%. And the maturity is 27th March. Expiry is 27th March. So let me calculate number of days. Year 2014 0. So the number of days that we have is 46. So number of days 46. Let's take some data. Let's first take the call option price, which is 154.15, which is out of the money. So call option is trading at 154.15. We know the put option price, but we will use put call parity and see if we go somewhere closer. Okay. Now this put call parity in some context is a bit theoretical, because if it doesn't hold, then you have to make some theoretical assumption and exploit the arbitrage. We'll see how it works. Now you use the put call parity and find out what should be the put option price. $132. 132.27. S plus P is equal to B plus C. So P is equal to B plus C minus S. B would be the present value of 6100 for 46 days. Second clear TVM, 6100 future value 46 divided by 365n, 8 IY, compute present value. How much? 6041. So 6041 plus call option is being priced at 154.15 minus the current spot price in the market for Nifty is 6063, and then let's find out the difference. 132.27. So our parity tells us that this should be the price of put option. The price of put option as of now in the market is 145.35, which means that probably this 8% can be lowered slightly, can be lowered further, because do you remember what is the relationship between RFR and put option prices? Inverse. So probably this might be priced by the market as about 7%. Now let's assume that we find a very big arbitrage scenario. Okay, we find that there is a huge difference. Then how do you exploit the arbitrage? So in this case we decide to do it. What is the conclusion? Put is overvalued or undervalued? Put is overvalued in the market. So what we will do is we will sell put. Sell put, take a short position, write the put and receive 147. Once I have received that 147, what I will parallelly do is, let me use this please. I will parallelly buy a synthetic put. Okay, and this is now slowly taking, you might have heard algorithmic trading or genetic. So this is a very miniature format of what those people basically do. So they will sell the put, simultaneously buy a synthetic put option. Synthetic put is equal to bond plus call minus stock. Now imagine that I go and I buy a Government of India bond and I invest 6041, assuming I get to earn 8%, right? So I bought this for 6041. Plus I will also go and I will buy a call option of 154.15 and I will take short position of 6063. Okay, I will take a short position on the stock. Now what is the theoretical assumption? That when I have taken short position, I have received the money. Do you receive the money? No, it gets locked up, but we have assumed that. If that is true, how much money has gone out from me? No, the net amount of cash flow that I will have is 132.27. Are you following it? Because I will give away 6041, I will give away 154, I will receive 6063. So cash flow that gone out is 132. Are we together here? Manoj. So effectively what happened? By selling put, I received kitna market price? 145. By buying synthetic put, I paid 132. So approximately I am left with 13. We have completely ignored transaction cost. Now after 46 days, if everything gets settled off automatically, then this is my arbitrage, and exactly that's what will happen after 46 days. See, let's assume different scenarios. Let us say that after 46 days, stock price became, the spot price became, let us say 5,000 out of the money. Okay, then how much is the cash flow do I have on my put option? Sorry, we are a put option, right? Let's make this 7,000. Sorry, to make it out of the money, let's say that spot price became 7,000. So I have two positions. One is I have a short put and I have a long synthetic put. The scenario in the market is 7,000. So on short put, my cash flow is how much? 0. Now what happens to this synthetic put? I have a bond which will give me how much? 6,100. So bond will give me 6,100. I have a call option which will give me how much? 900. And I have a short position on a call, short position on the stock, 7,000. What is the net portfolio? 0. Same. Are you following this? Same, settled off. So if the price increased and if the put option went out of the money, it's same. Let's see what call option. I have a, see, we have two portfolios. I've messed up the screen. Let me use a different screen here. I have a short put position and simultaneously I have a long position on a synthetic put. Okay, so long on synthetic put. Today, if I exploit the arbitrage, I'm taking home 13 rupees. And then what I'm worried is that what will happen to me after 46 days. So this long put that we developed was B plus C minus S. And this is minus P. We are looking at different scenarios. Okay, strike price was 60,100. Let's assume that market price became 7,000. Okay, this is spot scenarios. Now, if market price is 7,000, on my short put option, my obligation is 0 because it's out of money. On my long synthetic put, this bond will give me 6,100. Call will give me 900 rupees. But I would be required to buy the stock in the market to square off my short position, which will give me, so which will require me a cash flow of 7,000. So again, 0. Let's reduce the price. Let's say that it turns out to be 5,000. Then on my short put, I will have a loss of 1,100, negative 1,100. Is that correct? Yes. What happens on my synthetic put? My bond will give me 6,100. My call will give me 0. But my short position I can square off only for 5,000. So I have a positive 1,100. Which means no matter what happens after 46 days, my two portfolios will automatically square off each other. So that today I could easily take that 13 home. So there is an arbitrage. And then if there is an arbitrage, all the algos or all the softwares which are being used by the institutional traders, they will start exploiting it. Start exploiting how? They will start selling the put. They will keep on selling the put till the time it does not reach the price which we calculated, which came out to be 132. Of course, now why there is a difference of 13? Because when I decide to do this, I do not receive money when I short sell. That was the first assumption. So I have an opportunity cost on that interest. Number two, when I buy and sell so many options, then first I might have to keep some margin. Second, I will have to pay transaction cost. So that 13 is accounting for that difference. That if that difference starts increasing, then automatically algos will exploit that difference and again it would bring it back to the same level. So there might be some difference, but it would not be very significant, because if there is a significant difference, it's being exploited. Are we clear? So assuming that you've understood, and if you've not understood, we can create synthetic positions in these options. So synthetic call, synthetic put, synthetic bond and synthetic stock. How will you create synthetic call? S plus P minus B, B plus C minus S, S plus P minus C and B plus C minus, नहीं गलत हो गया, B plus C minus P. RFR is not an assumption, it's a data. What is assumption later on is volatility, but RFR is a factual information. Yes, but what you can argue is, this time we invested into bond. Okay, he's asked a very good question. He says that isn't that calculation depends on what's your assumption of RFR. So RFR is not an assumption. RFR is a factual data. But imagine now, in our example, this was overvalued, therefore we sold this and then we bought this. Assume a scenario where this was undervalued, so we will buy this and we will sell this. So minus bond, minus call plus stock. Buy a stock, no problem. Minus call means write a call, no problem. What is the meaning of minus bond? Borrow at the rate of RFR. Who will lend you at RFR? No, so again a theoretical assumption. So for us, when you want to exploit, it's easy to invest at RFR, but you cannot borrow at RFR. So that means when you want to exploit the other side of the arbitrage, you have to relax that assumption, right? And then build a algo or then build a code on that so that it will extract. Okay, good then.